Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Wednesday evening to you all. I hope you guys are doing great out there tonight and had yourselves a wonderful day. And I hope everyone's had a great week out there so far. It's been an active week with just tracking winter weather, and here we are giving you guys a new update on this winter storm for the southern tier of the country. And I'm sorry to come at you a little bit later than I typically do in these nighttime videos. Normally, this is my bedtime, but I had church tonight. I could not get the video out before church, so here I am getting it in after church. But this update is just important as all the other ones, and we're going to get very detailed with you folks. We'll start off by talking about the latest watches, warnings, and advisories. Some areas have upgraded from those winter storm watches to winter storm warnings. Some have just upgraded to winter storm or winter weather advisories. We've had new winter storm watches issued for areas further east, so we'll speak on all that. The next area we'll talk about is the south central U.S., and then we'll speak on the southeastern U.S., and we'll get very detailed on everything we know about this winter storm. We'll talk about the evolution of it, the timing, and then we'll get very, very, very detailed on forecasted snow and ice amounts. So just a quick reminder for you folks that think I'm going to miss your state, and there's chances are I'm going to miss somebody. The South Central timestamp is the states of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, portions of Missouri, and even portions of, I think I already said Mississippi, but Western Tennessee, Western Kentucky. The Southeastern timestamp includes Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas, areas of Virginia, the rest of Tennessee, the rest of Kentucky, like Middle Tennessee, Eastern Tennessee, and then Central Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky. So I'm going to include areas of Virginia also into this, but I'm going to miss somebody. I'm not, certainly not perfect. I do get very detailed on my channel if you're new, but I'm still going to miss somebody. So if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. And if anybody has anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put it in the comments below. And if you just sense lack of energy from me or anything like that, it's just I'm just wore out. I'm tired. Like I said, 8:30 to me is like equivalent to like almost midnight in our household. We go to sleep very early, so just a little bit tired, but we're going to definitely get our way through this video. So let's get going here. So latest watches, warnings, and advisories. So these winter weather advisories, stretch all the way back from Amarillo as far as how far west, Lubbock. San Angelo has winter weather advisories. Abilene, they're all the way down to Waco. But once you start to get to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, of course, we still have those winter storm warnings. They've been up since this morning. We just have winter weather advisories up for Oklahoma City, Tulsa, into Springfield, Missouri, even some winter weather advisories in like southeastern Kansas. And almost the entire state of Arkansas has winter storm warnings, except north of Fayetteville and the far southeastern corner of Arkansas. Little Rock, definitely winter storm warnings. Shreveport, even winter storm warnings. Memphis, winter storm warnings in this pinkish color. They go all the way down to Greenwood to Columbus, Tupelo included. And then once you start to progress eastward, we have winter weather. We even have some winter storm warnings like up for Paducah, Kentucky, some far western counties. You guys have kind of missed out on some of the winter weather fun. You're going to get a nice snow event from this. So areas of the Boot Hill, Missouri have winter storm warnings. We have some winter weather advisories all the way up to St. Louis, all the way up to Evansville. And then once you get into Kentucky, I expect these winter storm watches to be upgraded to winter storm warnings all the way from Florence to Huntsville, Alabama. Now, Birmingham, do you get upgraded from a winter storm watch to a winter weather advisory or winter storm warning? That's a big question. Same with Atlanta. Winter storm watch is up. Do you get upgraded to warnings? We'll find out when we wake up tomorrow morning. Knoxville, winter storm watch. The rest of Tennessee either has winter storm watches or winter storm warnings. You start getting to eastern Kentucky, winter weather advisories for now, but I could see this upgrading to winter storm watches. And some of the new areas that were changed earlier this afternoon was like the Greenville-Spartanburg area, Charlotte, Asheville. This goes all the way down to Edgefield, Newberry, Rock Hill, Lancaster, Winsboro, and guess what? I live here in Columbia, South Carolina, and they stopped at one county short. I was about to make my entire afternoon, but it's okay. They're the experts for a reason, so they stopped at one county short. But I wouldn't be surprised if some areas get extended even further east, and I definitely think you'll start to get some winter storm watches in the Winston-Salem area, Raleigh-Durham, and maybe even issued into Virginia and time. But that's the latest information from that. So what we're going to do here is we're really just going to focus in on the European model. I'm not going to go over a ton of model guidance here. We're really going to focus a lot in on the forecast of snow and ice amounts. So the latest Euro did come in colder for a lot of people. So we're going to start this off for Thursday morning. So this is tomorrow morning, January 9th. And we'll roll it all the way through the entirety of this event. So starting off tomorrow morning, we already have a winter A wintry mix breaking out across North Texas, kind of west central Texas. The pink is the freezing rain. The orange you see on your screen, that's sleet, and the blue is the snow. And we progress this forward, and we start to get into about Thursday afternoon. The darker shades of blue, that's heavier snow. Once you get this real dark shade of blue here, that's even heavier snow. But the Dallas-Fort Worth area getting like a mix of sleet and snow at this point. And we continue to progress this forward, and we get into late Thursday evening. Some snow begins to move into Little Rock, the leading edge of the snow getting close to Memphis and getting close to being in northern Mississippi. So this is like 9, 10 o'clock at night tomorrow night. We got heavy snow starting to move into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And then we take it into the wee hours of the morning Friday. The leading edge of the snow is starting to move into the Memphis area. Northern Mississippi starting to pick up this snow now. This is like I said, the wee hours of the morning Friday. It's snowing heavily back in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We got a snowstorm right on top of Little Rock, snowing hard up into like Fayetteville, Fort Smith. I think this will be an all-out snowstorm for like southeastern Oklahoma. Light to moderate snow still falling, all the way up here into maybe like northern Missouri. Some light snow starting to move into St. Louis. Some light to moderate snow maybe up here in like Kansas City. And then the storm continues to progress eastward, waking up Friday morning to just a ton of snow flying around in most of the state of Arkansas. I would say if there's a state that's going to jackpot with the most snow, it's probably going to be Arkansas. Once upon a time, maybe that was, I don't know, maybe that was Northeast Texas, the Arklatex. But, Mary, a shout out to you. You guys, you're certainly going to be getting hit hard with this, it looks like, if you're in this area right here, the corner of Texas. But I'd like to give some of my loyal viewers some shout outs here. But Arkansas getting hit hard here. Louisiana, the latest Euro keeps it mostly rain, but they have winter storm warnings up for a reason in Shreveport, so maybe they're leaning a little bit colder. But one area I'm not mentioning a lot is northern Mississippi. So this is Friday morning around 6, 7 o'clock. It is snowing like crazy in northern Mississippi. I think y'all could get several inches of snow. Heavy snow moving into Memphis. This begins, and we'll talk about Alabama here in a second, but this begins to take over western areas of Tennessee, western Kentucky, snowing heavily in the Boot Hill, Missouri, southern Illinois, starting to taper off in Texas. By the time we start to get into late Friday night, it's about done for this area. Now, some areas where the models are just now coming in, and I've always liked the HRRR model, and it's starting to come in now, so we can actually see a lot of it. Let's see what it's looking like. So this is new to me. I will show you the HRRR model. And here it comes. And let's show a better look at this. Let's look at this. So here it comes. This is like tomorrow midday, wintry mix moving into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but it could switch to heavy snow. We continue to move this forward. Remember the orange is a lot of sleet, but could be more freezing rain mixed with this. And then same thing. This is a short range model too, so it might be picking up on something a little bit more, but it has a big time sleet fest going on in southern Arkansas, extreme northern Louisiana. This is heavy snow mixing with a little bit of sleet in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And then it really wants to pick up on a lot of sleet, where say the Euro is showing a lot of snow in certain areas of northern Mississippi. Memphis, Little Rock staying all heavy snow. And this is as far out as it goes. We only can go out about 36 hours. It's still running. But that's a short range model. So enough of that. Starting to speak on some guidance. Let's look at the Euro Ensemble guidance first. It is really juiced up as far as heavy snow. Sorry, I keep doing this to my nose. My nose is itching for some reason. So I want you to keep this in mind. Dallas-Fort Worth area on the Euro Ensemble going for over a half a foot of snow. I mean, close to like 7 to 8 inches of snow. The Arklatex area, almost over 10 inches of snow. Really jackpots around Little Rock, points south and southwest with like 6 to 10 inches of snow. And same kind of deal, like I'm holding the cursor over southeastern Oklahoma, going for over 10 inches of snow. Definitely lessens up once you get in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. And then, look at north. This is an ensemble blend too. So this is blending together like 51 members, creating an average or a mean. So this isn't just some random run. This is definitely a reliable model guidance, even at this range. But well over a half a foot of snow showing up for northern Mississippi, going for about a half a foot of snow around Memphis. So I want you to just keep in mind of what this shows. And I could go over so much other model guidance too, but I'm just going to show you this. And I'm going to compare it to the actual National Weather Service forecast in some of these areas. Now I'm going to make sure we do have the latest and greatest information. We do. So this is a broad look, and I know this is kind of zoomed out, but I'm going to zoom into all these areas that are going to be the highest impacted. So Remember right in here in like Northeast Texas, the Euro Ensemble is going for over a half a foot of snow. Well, the National Weather Service right now, as of, I don't know, what time is it, guys? It's late for me. 8:30. As of around 8:30, only a few inches to maybe several inches of snow in Northeast Texas. But this is just a broad look at the National Weather Service forecast. You can see it really jackpots Arkansas, the snow getting up into Illinois, Missouri, into Kansas. Now, let's start to zoom into some of these areas. This is the latest graphic. Well, it's about from 6:15, so about an hour or so ago. Going for about 1 to 2 inches of snow in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm telling you right now, this could overachieve. This could overachieve. Just going to leave it at that. Okay, but up the road, north of Texas, northeast of Texas, 2-3 inches of snow. Get close to Paris, 4 inches. Broken Bow, 6. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. As far as the ice forecast, I mean, they're going for some hefty ice totals down here south of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Almost 1/10 of an inch calling for that. But you get down here like south and southwest of the area, well over 1/10 of an inch of ice is possible. So some freezing rain is going to mix in with this. I'm going to leave these individual areas out. I know I don't have zoomed in graphics of like further out west in Texas, but that's why I showed you the broad look at it. But here in Oklahoma, Tulsa going for 2 to 3. McAllister, 4 to 5. Hugo, around 6 inches. Fort Smith, 4 to 5. Fayetteville, around 4 inches is what they're calling for. Now, I tried to pull up the graphic out of Oklahoma City, but it was just glitching. I don't know if they're making an upgrade, but I don't have it right now. I'll have it again in the morning to show you. But the latest update from around 5 p.m. Central Time in the Shreveport area, the Arklatek, going for around 2 to 3 inches of snow in Texarkana. Broken Bow, 6 to 7. Clarksville, around 5 inches of snow. But hopefully you can see your area pretty well in this region. But Shreveport, I mean, just 0.2 of an inch of snow. But there is going to be some ice in this area. Let's look at the ice forecast. I have no idea why they do not have the ice graphic pulled up. That is, come on, guys. Anyways, we're going to keep going. I might be a little moody because I'm a little tired, guys. So y'all have some grace with me. But I'll zoom into Louisiana here and we'll see what they're showing. See, I mean, it shows ice in this area. Northern Louisiana, over 1/10 of an inch of ice. I mean, in southern Arkansas, I mean, they got a highlight area here in the dark pink of over 1/4 inch of ice. So I'm very surprised they don't have that up on the graphic, but I mean, they're not perfect. So we go up to Arkansas, heavily impacted state, and this was just upgraded. They're going for exact totals on this specific graphic. Hot Springs to Little Rock, they're going for around 9 inches of snow, but we could see a little bit more. What was that? Searcy, 7 inches. Mountain View, 5. Harrison, 4. And Monticello, 3 inches. So Jonesboro, 5 inches of snow. But how much ice is forecast? A zoomed in graphic. Hopefully they got something in. They don't either. Cool. All right, but let's just keep going. I don't expect much ice in Arkansas besides what I just showed. But if we go up here to, I'm going to show my folks here in Missouri. Branson, 3 to 6 inches of snow. Springfield, 2 to 5. Joplin, 2 to 4. Anderson, 2 to 5. We get up to Columbia. They don't have anything up for that area, but I think I have another graphic that might show Columbia. But yeah, this is what they're showing. Kansas City can get a couple inches of snow off this. And then we move it a little bit further east. St. Louis, 1 to 2. I think the Boot Hill, Missouri can get around 4 to 6 inches of snow. For example, Poplar Bluff going for 4 to 6. Paducah, 3 to 4. Murray, 4 to 6. Hopkinsville, 4 to 6. Evansville, 3 to 4. Mount Vernon, 3 to 4. So just a couple names right here. No ice expected in this area. Then we bog it all down to Memphis. We could have some updates. Let's see if we have any changes for Memphis. And let's just look at this graphic. Memphis going for around, this is the latest, around 5 inches of snow in Memphis, but it could be around 4. It could be around 6 or 7. Dyersburg, 5 inches. Oxford are going for around 4. Tupelo, about 2. I think more snow than this could fall. Some of these graphics are just a little everywhere, but, this is the high-end graphic. Could get as high as 8 inches of snow in Memphis. But I could see them increasing snowfall totals for northern Mississippi. There's a possibility of it for sure. As far as ice in this area, maybe a little ice to the south. Maybe. So, and then we go down to Jackson. Greenwood, inch or 2 of snow. Columbus, 2 to 3 inches of snow. Greenville, about a half an inch. Jackson, this ain't your storm. But you could get maybe a little glaze of ice in Jackson, but for now they're not calling for it. But Hamburg into, Arkansas, over 1/10 of an inch of ice forecast, and a few 1/100ths of an inch of ice up Interstate 55 in this region. So maybe Meridian, maybe a little light glaze is certainly possible in this region. So let's switch it to the southeast. So this is the latest Euro. Had a lot of people, excited for winter weather fans because the Euro, if you heard me mention it this morning, which you're probably thinking, Mitch, why are you showing the Euro when you were dogging it this morning? Well, I still love the Euro, but I just think it was a little off. Now that it's showing something that I think that I agree with a little bit more, I'm going to show it. I know you're thinking, well, you're kind of showing something that you just won't. Well, it's just something that I favor in this specific forecast. But Friday morning, here we go, starting it off. Look at the heavy snow moving into Alabama. We've already talked about Mississippi. Look at this heavy burst of snow starting to move into Atlanta. South of Atlanta, maybe just a wintry mix. This is around mid-morning Friday. Moderate snow beginning to move into Nashville at this point, and then we move in another panel. Look at this. A couple runs ago, guys, for example, let's look at like the run last night. It was showing all rain in like Columbia. Okay, now it's showing, for example, I'll stop it here. It's around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon to Friday. Keep thinking I'm 1 day ahead. It's all snow right now at this point in Tennessee. All snow for most of northern Georgia. There could be some mixing issues. Florence, Huntsville, up to Nashville, the Cumberland Plateau, Knoxville, Chattanooga, Tri-Cities region, all snow at this point. Greenville, Spartanburg, it's snowing like crazy. Columbia, man, I'm pulling for this. Man, I am pulling for this. I live in Columbia. Look at that. Look at the moderate snow moving to Columbia. Burst of moderate snow about middle of the afternoon. Got a lot of people asking me here locally, is it going to snow? Well, if some of these models continue to show this, we could get a burst of a couple hours of snow. But Asheville, southwest North Carolina, could be a southwest North Carolina mountain special for you guys. Gatlinburg, you continue to move this, then we start to struggle with some mixing into northern Georgia, northern Alabama. How do you change to a lot of rain and say Birmingham after maybe starting off as a wintry mix or snow? Well, you start to see, you get into central South Carolina, it's the entire Midlands at this point as a wintry mix. Just north is heavy snow. Moderate snow beginning to move into Charlotte area. And some of this might encounter some dry air first. So it might take some time to moisten up the atmosphere. But I'm going to say this. Once it starts snowing, guys, it don't matter where you're at. It is going to stick on everything. We've had several days in a row, including what's going on right now. I mean, there's many areas well into their 20s already this evening of Arctic air. All the surfaces are cold, whether it's your soil, whether it's your driveway, whether it's the roads, the interstates, the surfaces, the tops of your cars. Everything is cold. It's not like you got a few days out in advance where it's in the 60s and 70s. It's very cold leading up to the storm. But, I mean, look at this slither of snow all the way up into Indiana, Ohio, all the way up to Cleveland and Detroit. And then it turns into an icy mess. And listen, this is one of the biggest questions of this storm system is the icing situation in the Carolinas and even northern Georgia. Okay, it starts to show a lot of pink, which is freezing rain. The orange is sleet, the blue is snow. But it starts to show a lot of freezing rain. I mean, even south of Columbia, in this area. I know it almost is trying to switch out to like rain in Atlanta. This is all snow, a good thumping of snow up into the Piedmont, North Carolina. All snow in the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee. And then it's starting to snow in Raleigh. Freezing rain to Fayetteville. Still freezing rain in the Columbia area. At this point, freezing rain's trying to sneak all the way up into the Greenville, Spartanburg area and then Charlotte. Can you get a burst of snow in eastern North Carolina, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, or snowing in Danville at this point? Some snow getting all the way up to the D.C. areas, the middle of the night Friday. And I probably have done bad mentioning times. This is Friday morning. This is Friday afternoon. This is Friday night. This is getting in the middle of the night. It's starting to get to like the wee hours in the morning. Saturday morning. So like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You're still getting freezing rain in the PD of South Carolina and eastern South Carolina. I mean, this is a corridor of heavy freezing rain. Snow up here in Raleigh. And, yeah, I mean, what's wild to me is that the Euro wants to keep this just about all frozen now. Precipitation, whether that's sleet, freezing rain, or snow, as far south as like central South Carolina. Almost the entire storm. And then it heads on out. Okay, and I probably forgot to mention names of states, but hopefully you can see your state on the map. And I'm going to show you the world famous graph model. This model has been making the rounds on social media. It's been keeping hope alive for areas further south. And heck, if this ends up being colder like what the Euro is showing, then maybe it was right all along. But Daniel Bonds and many other meteorologists in the Carolinas keep showing this, and I think it's worth showing. It's starting off this evening And this does show a lot of the Southeast, but really focuses in on the Carolinas. So you're going to see the timeline up here. You're going to see some clouds starting to move in. So I'm just going to let it play out. We got time. Might as well. I'm already past my bedtime. So we start to get into the nighttime hours. We start to get into Friday morning, and we'll stop it here. See the pink, wintry mix of maybe freezing rain, snow, and sleet, or one or the other. And then the bluish white color, that's the snow. Starts to move into Atlanta at this point. We stop it right here. Okay, this is around mid to late morning Friday. Look at the snow beginning to enter the upstate of South Carolina. Western North Carolina. Snowing all the way up here, up Interstate 75. Pouring down snow in Chattanooga. And then we stop it right here. Look at how far south, down 26 in South Carolina, we got a wintry mix ongoing. Now, another one of these runs will run in about an hour or two, so we'll see if it's warmed up or cooled down. Atlanta getting a wintry mix. Columbia, though, I'm telling you, your boy Mitch is pulling very hard for this because it shows a few-hour period of snow even as far south as Columbia. Eventually, it switches it. But what's wild to me is you keep going throughout the entire duration of the storm. These areas like in central South Carolina, for example, and even, up Interstate 95, on this specific run, guys, it shows it all frozen precipitation. It never switches it to rain. So that's just, they used to, once upon a time, like 24 hours ago, I would say there was no chance of that. Now I'm saying, hey, is there a chance? So this is the latest Euro Ensemble 18Z run. It increased from its prior run. It really, really hits northern Alabama, southern sections of Tennessee hard. It's a nice snow event across the entire state of Tennessee, anywhere from 4 to as much as 8 inches of snow, just depending on where you live. Chattanooga says about 5 inches of snow. Northern Georgia, a few inches of snow. Atlanta wants to give you a few inches. Greenville, Spartanburg, anywhere from 2 to 4. It almost gives an inch of snow all the way down to Columbia and Augusta, half an inch. In fact, the actual operational run of the Euro did give an inch of snow to Columbia. And Birmingham, it gives you a few inches of snow. And look at Kentucky, a few inches of snow. And this little slither of light snowfall accumulations all the way up into southern Virginia. Now you look at, say, the National Weather Service forecast. This is what they're saying right this second. Let's see if we have a new one. And we do, but it doesn't really look like there's any changes. So, it does not favor kind of the southern areas of snow with this setup. So this is what the National Weather Service is showing right now for snow. A broad look, but let's take a zoomed in look at some of these areas. And I do want you guys to look in Ohio because I don't have zoomed in looks at Ohio or Indiana. It looks like they're calling for about a couple inches in Indianapolis, and most of the state of Ohio will get a few inches of snow off this. And I'm probably going to miss showing West Virginia. Just about the entire state of West Virginia sees snow from this, accumulating snow. But let's zoom in a couple areas. Let's start off with Alabama. The latest information, let's see if we have another graphic here. Latest information is going for around 2 inches of snow in Birmingham. Gadsden, about 3 inches. Florence, about 4. Huntsville, about 3. I could see northern Alabama getting more snow than this, but there has been some model trends that has showed some mixing issues. Now here's a closer look at like northern Alabama. Florence, 4 inches. Fayetteville, 3 inches. I could see this area getting more snow than this. It's very splotchy, really weird looking. I don't know what's up with that. I have no idea, but that's just the graphic. And if we go on and switch it and look at going up the road to Tennessee, calling for around 4 inches of snow in Nashville. And this is the general theme in Middle Tennessee, around 3 to 5 inches of snow, really anywhere you see. Okay. Now I haven't showed ice, but I'm not expecting much ice in this area. Now we switch it to the east. Now this is, and I made a tweet right before I made this video, and it's probably going to get some criticism. But you can tell where the Cumberland Plateau, you can tell where the Tennessee Valley is between the Cumberland Plateau and the mountains of Tennessee, the Smokies, in this graphic. And I'll say this, I don't favor this weird drop. Now it's probably going to happen a little bit, but I don't necessarily favor this weird drop in snowfall totals in the valley now. I don't think that this storm favors a drop in snow totals just because it's in lower elevations. I think this is more so like a southern slider. But one thing that baffled me, and I made a post about it right before I did the video, probably phone's getting blown up for it, but no, I'm not joking. They were calling for 6 inches of snow in Chattanooga this morning, and they've dropped it down to 1 inch. And to me, hey, if you're going to get 1 inch of snow and that's actually what you're going to get, hey, props to you. But to me, you don't start off with 6 and then drop it to 1 inch. I don't think that you need to react that much to model guidance in a 12-hour period, in my opinion. And listen, no model guidance has really pointed to that much of a drop in forecast snowfall totals for Chattanooga, for example, or any of these areas. Big drop for Gatlinburg, 2 inches is what they're calling for. Morristown, Knoxville, 4 inches. Kingsport, 3 inches. I don't quite understand this. This was updated about a couple hours ago. And I'm not dissing on the National Weather Service. They're humans. Just like some of you guys give me criticism. Just because they're a National Weather Service, that don't mean they don't get criticism. I mean, they got to take some heat too, right? I get plenty of it on my channel. I'll read the comments. Anywhere from somebody mad because I'm wearing my hat backwards, or mad because I didn't mention their state. I just think it's odd that you dramatically drop the totals like that. So, anyways, enough of that. Are they calling for any ice? I have no idea why they continuously not update the icing graphics. I don't know what's going on, or maybe it's just an operator error and I'm not looking at the right thing here. But they are calling for some hefty ice, but they're not really calling for any ice, say, in eastern Tennessee. So it's weird to me that you would knock down the snow totals that much. Now, you could have sleet. They don't really make graphics for sleet. But anyways, we'll keep moving here. Here's Kentucky, a nice crisp graphic. I mean, just Kentucky does a phenomenal job getting graphics out. But the entire southern tier of Kentucky, I mean, everybody in South Kentucky, 4 to 6 inches of snow. You get into central Kentucky, around 3 to 4. And the general theme in Kentucky is 3 to 6 inches of snow for just about everybody, give or take an inch. So, I mean, Kentucky's real easy here. And then we go down to Georgia. So this was updated even less than 2 hours ago, about an hour ago. Atlanta, they're calling for an inch. They're calling for an inch or less. Now, I wouldn't say beef, but I got something to say about North Georgia too. I think that in my opinion, Atlanta went a little bit too high in their snowfall totals forecasted this morning. I think they were going as high as 2 to 3 inches of snow, and they might end up getting that. They could, but I personally never saw 2 to 3 inches of snow in Atlanta. I think you're going to deal with a lot of mixing, and I think you could get a quick 1 to 2 inches of snow. But some areas were forecasting 4 inches of snow in Atlanta. I don't see that. Could happen. I'm pulling for it to happen for you guys in Atlanta, but now the latest National Weather Service forecast is going for an inch or less. Gainesville, 1 to 2 inches of snow. Jasper, 2 to 4. Rome, 2 inches or less. Dalton, 2 to 5. Blairsville, 2 to 5. I wish they had Helen on this graphic, but it looks like Helen's going for around 2 to 3. And it's not that I'm dissing on the National Weather Service so much, but I don't like the fact that they're changing up so much, so dramatically. Chattanooga is a great example of that. And this is what I'm saying. Trenton, Dalton, 2 to 5 inches of snow. And yeah, they might be a little bit higher up in elevation. Chattanooga's right here. There ain't no way that Trenton's going to get 2 to 5 inches of snow, and Chattanooga is going to get an inch in this setup. Okay? So, yeah. Ice. We got any ice graphics? We do. Atlanta's doing awesome here. I mean, they're going for, and this is a little old, but they're going for anywhere from 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of an ice in Atlanta, up the I-85 corridor. So the orange color, I mean, this is a decent glaze of ice mixed with maybe a couple inches of snow. And then we head on up here to North Carolina, National Weather Service out of Greenville. I think they're holding steady with their totals very well. But Spartanburg to Greenville, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of snow is forecast. This was updated about an hour or so ago. Charlotte, an inch. Could get more in this area. Chester, an inch. Greenwood, an inch. I'm telling you. And here's the thing for South Carolina. I'm going to make my own graphic tomorrow just to give my takes on it. That'll be tomorrow afternoon, evening. I hope I can get it out. But Columbia, they don't. National Weather Service out of K, they don't really have anything up because right now they're staying conservative, and rightfully so, because these events can be tricky. But this could be a Southwest North Carolina special. Is this going to be some sort of historic snowstorm? Absolutely not. I think someone could squeeze in a half a foot of snow in Southwest North Carolina, but I just don't think there's enough moisture with this But as far as ice with this, going for some hefty ice totals, especially once you get in kind of the northern Midlands and the southern upstates. I mean, from Greenwood to Chester, going for over 1/10 of an inch of ice, almost 1/10 of an inch in like Rock Hill, Monroe. So just a few 1/100ths of an inch of ice in the Greenville-Spartanburg area. And then we head on up to the Raleigh area. Raleigh going for around 2 inches of snow. Winston-Salem. The general area, once you get kind of west of the Raleigh-Durham area, is about 2 to 3 inches of snow. So, I mean, they are going for, say, in Fayetteville, an inch or less. Albemarle, 2 inches of snow. Wadesboro, 1 inch. So, Mount Airy, 3 inches. And you definitely could get some ice in this area. Going for just a few 1/100ths of an inch of ice here. Okay. Then we head up into Virginia. The last couple graphics, and we'll be wrapping this video up. A few inches of snow. Definitely a nice little moderate event up here. You guys have had a wintry winter so far, but Blacksburg, Whitfield, 3 inches of snow in these areas, and Beckley 3 inches of snow, Charleston 3 inches of snow, Snowshoe 5, Charlottesville maybe about an inch, but could get a little bit more once you get into southeastern Virginia. Maybe 3 inches in Richmond, Williamsburg 3 inches, Cape Charles 2 inches, Norfolk about 2 inches of snow is what they're forecasting. And yeah, I definitely could see some ice in this area, but they're not forecasting much right now. So running out of gas, guys. But thank y'all for tuning in. That's all I got. I will mention, one thing I'm going to do on the flyer is, we'll leave it hanging. But that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I appreciate y'all, and we'll do it again in the morning. God bless.